All right, we're going to dive into one of the most mysterious and, let's be honest, debated parts of the Bible, the 7 letters in the book of Revelation. But what if they're not just some ancient mail? Today, we're unpacking a fascinating framework that might just completely change how you see them forever. I mean, really think about it. These are letters written almost 2,000 years ago to 7 small churches in what is now Turkey. So why are we still talking about them? What is it that makes them so captivating to scholars and readers today? That's the real mystery we're going to try to decode. Our guide on this journey is going to be the work of Dr. Chuck Missler. His analysis and the 7 letters to the 7 churches provides this incredible lens for understanding these ancient texts, and it's his framework we'll be exploring together. So, what's the secret here? Well, according to Missler, the core idea is that these letters are anything but simple, one-dimensional messages. He argues that they operate on multiple levels all at once. To really get what's going on, you have to unlock 4 distinct layers of meaning. 4. That's the magic number. It's the key to unlocking the incredible depth that's woven into these letters. 4 different ways to read the exact same text. And here they are. We're going to look at the local, the admonitory, the personal, and finally the prophetic application. This is our roadmap. So you ready? Let's jump right into the first one. First up is the most direct, the most historical layer. What did these letters mean to the actual people who originally received them? Think of it as a message written specifically for them way back then. You've got to remember, places like Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, these weren't just names on a page. They were real places with real people facing very real problems. So at the most basic level, these were literal letters sent to deal with their specific, immediate needs at that exact moment in history. Missler uses this brilliant analogy for this. He calls each letter a report card. And it's perfect, right? It's a spiritual assessment, straight from Jesus, laying out what the church was doing right and what it was getting really wrong. A direct, no-nonsense evaluation. Okay, so that covers the historical context. But if it was just for them, why should we care? This next part is where we broaden the scope from a message for then to a message for now. The clue to this next layer is a phrase that pops up in every single letter. Notice it doesn't say, "What the Spirit saith unto the church of Ephesus." It says churches, plural. That's a huge signal that the message is intended for a much wider audience, for any church in any era. This is the admonitory level. And this brings us right to the third layer, the message for you and me. The text basically asks, do you have an ear? If the answer is yes, then this message is for you. These letters act like a mirror, forcing us to ask tough questions. Am I like the church in Ephesus, super busy, but maybe I've lost my first love? Or am I like the one in Laodicea, thinking I'm rich, but I'm actually spiritually poor? Okay, now we get to the fourth and most speculative level of interpretation. This is the big one. The idea that these 7 letters might be more than just good advice. They might be a prophecy in disguise. And here's the theory. The prophetic view suggests that the 7 letters, in their exact order, actually map out the entire history of the church, from its beginning at Pentecost all the way to what the Bible calls the end times. Each church represents a distinct historical era. I mean, look at how this timeline unfolds. According to this framework, Ephesus represents the early apostolic church. Smyrna, that maps to the period of intense Roman persecution. Pergamos is when the church began to compromise with the state, followed by Thyatira, representing the corruption some see in the Middle Ages. It just keeps going, right up to Laodicea, the lukewarm, indifferent church, which, well, many believe that sounds a lot like our current era. It's a sweeping view of 2,000 years of history, supposedly all encoded here. So how can we even consider that there's this much hidden detail? Well, the evidence, proponents say, is in the structure. The incredible consistency across all 7 letters acts like a coder's key, revealing that this is a deliberate and intricate design. Every single letter follows this precise 7-part formula. It's addressed to a church, Jesus introduces himself with a unique title, then comes the commendation, the criticism, and exhortation, that familiar phrase, he that hath an ear, and finally a promise to the one who overcomes. This doesn't feel random, it feels engineered. And when you dig into those report card results, you find some fascinating patterns. The churches of Smyrna, the persecuted one, and Philadelphia, the faithful one, they receive 0 criticism, a perfect score. But on the flip side, Sardis and Laodicea receive 0 commendation. Nothing good is said about them at all. And that is a chilling thought. And this quote from Missler really ties it all together. When you see this kind of intricate, multi-layered design in just 2 chapters, it points to a larger idea. The argument is that the entire Bible, despite all its different authors and the huge timescale, might just function as a single, cohesive, integrated message system. All of this brings us to one final huge question. If this framework holds true, and these ancient letters really are a mirror for our own lives, our churches, and even our historical era, what do they reflect about our world today? It's a profound question, and one worth really thinking about.